Hi everyone!
What's up, guys?
Welcome back.
Yep, welcome back to our channel. I'm Anthony. This is
Melody.
And this is Anthony's Melody. Today we have a conversation type video for you guys. So we're going to be talking about 5 things that we have learned about communication in our relationship. But shout out to Boston Stoker Cafe and Day Inn for allowing us to do this. This is a really dope room.
This aesthetic is fire.
Yeah. So a lot of the stuff that you're going to be seeing is stuff that we've learned through people in our therapy and also in our couples counseling, but also just in our personal experiences as well. There's things that we feel like, if we had learned, it would just make things much more easier communication-wise. So the first thing is an acronym called S.T.O.P. So the S is for stop. So taking a second to just pause and take a deep breath in whatever conversation it is. The T is for take a step back. That's just a moment where after you stop, you take yourself out of the situation, remove the emotions, remove whatever it is that you're feeling in that emotionally charged moment. The O is to observe. Observe your body, observe how you're feeling, observe what emotions, whether you're feeling tense, whether you're feeling, whatever other sensations. Anger, rage, frustration.
Also observing what you need in that moment. Are you seeking for attention? Are you looking for them to pay attention to you a little bit? Are you seeking for acknowledgement or whatever you're what you need in that moment? Observing that and taking the time to observe that.
And then the last one is P, which is proceed accordingly. So based off all the information you've gathered from stopping, from taking a step back, from observing yourself, from taking kind of a self-awareness check, then you just move accordingly. So now you know, like she said, that you need attention from your partner. And so you communicate understanding that, being self-aware, opposed to just going in with, passive aggression about it. Just if you're not gonna talk to me or whatever. She's not done this before. Yeah.
Okay, you can say it.
I don't think you have.
But
yeah. Okay.
So number 2 is listening to understand and not to respond. Earlier on in our relationship, I realized that I'm not an active listener. I'm working on it now, but earlier on in our relationship, I easily get distracted. I easily honestly, I feel like sometimes it still happens nowadays as well. But I think remembering that hey, your partner is expressing themselves to you. They're sharing their what's bothering them or what's deep in their heart, and realizing that hey, you're doing your partner a disservice by not actually listening to understand their feelings right now. So I think that's really big in communication, because how can you communicate properly if you don't understand how your partner is feeling? And it's a really big part of loving your partner right.
I like what you said about listening to understand being an act of love. It's not just about giving you what I feel like you need, but giving you what you are actually asking for. Yeah. Cool. Number 3. There's a difference between isolation and solitude. I feel like this is me. This is me. I kind of just like being by myself sometimes. Writing, thinking, reflecting, being introspective. And so I think a lot of the times when I'm in a space where I'm feeling a negative emotion, I just revert back to that default of wanting to be in isolation. And I think for me earlier on in our relationship, I thought that was a good thing. I thought that was I should fight for that. I should fight for my isolation. But now, through counseling and just our conversations, what I really need is a moment alone, for sure, but with God. right? Which is where the solitude comes in. Like, instead of me just being isolated, like scrolling through like social media, watching like a bunch of YouTube videos, like throwing myself into a movie, like I actually like read the scriptures, I pray, I just sit in silence and hear from God, or try to hear from God, and move that way, opposed to like, oh, like I just need a second, and then when I've like pushed it away that I can like move forward, then like I'll come back. So yeah, I'm working on it heavy.
And then I feel like you're not the only one who should. I think we all should practice taking solitude, because I feel like sometimes like there comes a space where in communicating we both are bumping heads and no one is able to like make the other person understand what their point of view, and you may need to like take a moment and go back and just think and process it with God. I feel like that making that something that's normal is helpful in communicating. If we're butting heads and we're starting to get angry with each other, we should take a moment and just like separate, not to take a moment away, so that you're talking about it, you're processing it with God, so that you can come back to your partner in a better mindset, in a better space.
Coming back to a better space is really important, because I think a lot of times when I fought my feeling or need for solitude with you, because I'm like, oh, she like, it would be better if I'm here. She would feel better if I'm here. Like if I left her to go talk to God or just to be by myself, like it would make her feel away. But what ends up happening is we have like a terrible like 30 minutes to an hour of just nothing.
We're not talking.
Like we're not talking, we're not interacting, there's no physical touch, there's no like quality time, no communication. Like everything is just so tense and like weird that it honestly is just better off for me to have gone and to come back with better emotions, to come back and apologize if I need to come back and like give her love, better than like just having this stone cold heart in the midst of like, even though as close as we are, feeling so distant.
Yeah, it's like you're sitting next to each other, but what I do is I want to separate myself and distance myself. Whether we're in the car, I'm entering into, as he would say, I'm entering into the car door.
Y'all be doing that. You know y'all be doing that.
Or if we're on the couch, I'm literally like just holding on to like the arm. So like we're next to each other, but we're so far away. So in those spaces, it's really just best to, like, if you feel like you need to like take a moment of solitude, telling your partner, hey, I think I need to take a moment just to process how I'm feeling with God. I love you, I'm here, I just need a little bit of time. I think having that communication is very important in a relationship as well. So number 4 is say how you feel when you feel it early or when you're asked. We've all done this when your partner has asked you what's wrong and you're like nothing, or your partner asks you, hey, are you okay? And you're like, I'm fine. And you know you're not fine. Like your partner can see it. Yeah. You know it, you're not fine. And I'm really struggling with that to this day. It's like I just don't want to talk about it. So like I just keep saying I'm fine, but I'm not talking. So obviously I'm not fine. But we are realizing that like when we do share and express how we feel in that moment, it really takes, it helps with not having such an extended period of time of just uncomfortableness and just like you're distancing yourself and you're like not able to really spend quality time with each other. Just like expressing how you're feeling the moment that you're feeling it is a healthier way of handling it than just saying you're fine and then ignoring your partner.
I think too, like the enemy likes to prefers things being unsaid, right? It like when there's a lack of clarity with stuff, that's when you start to doubt, you know, whether your partner loves you or whether they care about you. And I feel like for me, a lot of the times thoughts come up when I don't share. So let's say I feel like Melody is rejecting me in some way. Maybe like I wanted to hang out with her and she chose a friend over me or whatever, however I feel, right? And she asks me what's wrong, and I say nothing. Now, sure, she doesn't know what it is, and I didn't say anything, and like I can move on and act like everything's fine. But the thought of like, dang, she really cares about other people more than you, or she puts you on a certain level that is below other people, that thought keeps like ruminating in my mind over and over again, to the point that like I'm having resentment towards her and she has no idea what it is that she's done because I said I'm fine over and over again. And so I think it just allows light to just be in the conversation, like, yeah, I'm feeling this way. Oh, and she can clarify it, like straight up, like, no, like that's not it. This is the situation. This is the context. And I feel much better because, again, she has reminded me of truth. I struggle a lot with being forthright with how I'm feeling until like I'm stepped in front of it. So in the sense of like, I feel rejection, but I'm not gonna say it until I can say that I feel rejection without it being a big deal. And the problem with that is it doesn't happen that quick. So it's until I get ahead of it that I can be like, oh yeah, I used to feel rejection. And it's like, I think another part of this is just being vulnerable, like trusting that your partner has your best interests at heart, and they're not asking to like, boy, you're so childish. Like, why are you, you know what I mean? Like, they're actually asking because they care, and actually want to, you know, allow your relationship to grow in that aspect of being able to say how you feel. Like, I feel this way, right? Like, I know that that's not, you don't mean harm, but this is just how I'm feeling.
And there's something that you say that like I really like whenever I'm like, I do that where I don't express or I don't share. It's like you remind me, hey, I'm not in your head to have these conversations with you. The lies that you're building up, the scenarios that you're running with, I'm not in your head to fight to fight the truth with you there. So remembering that like, hey, sharing this with your partner can help you get to a better space, can help you understand, can help you like be able to work through what you are going through in your head or how you're feeling in your head. And just a reminder, we're not saying this like we arrived anywhere or we have it all figured out. As we're sharing these things, we are still practicing these things and learning how to incorporate it daily into our relationship. Every single day, it's work. But we are sharing this so that like whoever else may be struggling with communication with their partner can have some tools as well.
Yeah.
Number 5
is don't communicate with you did statements. Instead use I feel, I instead of you. And with this one, this was another big one that came from therapy. Is like some of the times we do this unknowingly, but the effects of it are like very like big. Yeah, like I think for some reason this clicked early on for us, but it sometimes slips for me where I'm saying a statement and I have to retract it. Like, no, you didn't make me feel, or you didn't cause ABC. Like, I am interpreting whatever your actions are, and that's what's causing me to feel this way. It's me, right? And I think that allows us to take ownership a lot, right? So like when I'm communicating and I'm reminding her that, hey, this is how I'm feeling, she doesn't have to be defensive. I don't have to be defensive when I'm hearing this is how I feel, right? Like I can come into this less on the defensive side and more just like, hey, like we're a team, like how do we handle this together? Opposed to like, wait, no, like I didn't, like that was not my intentions, I didn't do that, blah, blah, blah. And that's just counterproductive. Again, feelings are like super fleeting.
Yeah.
So you can feel a certain way, and then in 5 seconds be completely fine. So it's really important to remind your partner and yourself that you're feeling this. Like, your partner's not doing this to you, it's you, right? And like trying to find the roots, as our therapists would say, try to find the roots of those things, and then try to move from there, so that next time you notice it and it's easier to handle, opposed to when you don't know.
Yeah. You also come into the conversation with like a lot more grace towards your partner, because it's not like you're coming into like accusing your partner of something. You're feeling away and you're expressing how you are feeling and how you are interpreting what happened. So your partner can come into it with like, okay, how do we like navigate this? How can I step in this spaces, instead of like I'm being attacked, I'm being accused of doing something. So just saying I feel instead of you did is very important in communicating with your partner.
And that's the 5.
Yep, that's it.
You
5 things we've learned in 2023 about communicating. We're probably going to do more of these as our journey goes. This is 5 things we're learning in the engagement season. There may be other numbers of things that we learn in the married season, or whatever other seasons we have in life. But this is our 5 things right now. But
yeah, I hope that this was helpful for you. If you have any thoughts, any things that you guys have been learning, let's try to build a community. You can just comment it down in the comment section and share it with anyone. Again, shout out to Boston S.T.O.P Cafe for allowing us to shoot in this room. We appreciate you guys, and look forward to hosting next.
Bye.